Hello everyone, welcome to the Soul Era. My name is Samara and today I want to talk about timelines being internal. Let's get right into it. Timelines, timeline shifting, all of that is very much so an internal work that has to do with your perspectives, your decisions, and your actions. And when I talk about timelines, I'm really talking about the trajectory of your life and the reality in which you live in. A series of decisions is the bridge that can bring you into a new reality. There are a couple of ways we can get there. There is the subconscious and the conscious effort. A lot of spiritual practices and a lot of spiritual advice aim at the subconscious, which is why you have visualization, the 369 method. All of these things bypass the conscious mind and get to the subconscious. So you're not really battling old programming, you are actually reprogramming yourself so that your actions and decision makings are kind of automatic. Now, I understand that that can seem a little odd and weird, but this happens to you all the time without you knowing. Think of marketing, ads, and all of the things that you see that influence your everyday decisions. What you eat, what phone you use, what you drive, where you live, what you believe. There are so many things bombarding our brains and subconscious all of the time. There are so many ways that our subconscious intakes information, and you may not even realize how much of your actions are influenced by this. You can also use it to your advantage. You don't have to let other people program you. You can reprogram yourself. The point of this video is not to get too much into it. I am going to talk a little bit about how to shift beliefs a little bit later in this video, but there is a plethora of videos on the internet talking about different ways to reprogram your subconscious mind. Let's talk about money because that seems to be one of the most popular things that people want to change or shift to. A simple statement: I am rich. Now, there are two ways that your brain can kind of think about this, and please pay attention to the thoughts that pop up for you. That's going to give you a clue into what your subconscious programming is already believing about money. Okay, so if you have the statement, I am rich, and you have a lot of positive beliefs around it already, that you think that it's possible for you to be rich, you have the tools that it takes to become rich, all of these different things that make you feel as though this is very much so in your control and very much so possible, then I would say your subconscious programming around it is pretty good and stable, and you may oftentimes be well on your way to shifting into that timeline already. Now, if you hear this statement and there's a lot of negative beliefs and a lot of things that seem outside of your control, then there is some work that you need to do to be able to shift your perspective. Perspective shifts is everything. It is going to change your decision making and your actions. So let's get into how to do that. Now, what you are going to want to do is shift the statement to a desire. Instead of saying I am rich, you're going to say I want to become rich. That shifts your brain a little bit from feeling like you're lying to yourself to feeling like, yeah, that is something that I desire. That's something that feels a little bit more comfortable, right? Okay, now you want to shift that desire to a decision. So instead of saying I want to become rich, you now say I am going to become rich. I am making a decision to become rich. Okay, now your brain is ready to get into the working mode. And that is the perspective change that we need. We need to change our perspective from this is out of our control to this is very much so in my control. I'm not proposing that everything is going to happen overnight. Making a decision really does shift your timeline. It shifts the trajectory of where you are going. But again, like I said before, it is a series of decisions. It's not a one-time thing. Now that you have decided your overarching view of what your reality is going to be, There are many decisions that you are going to have to make along the way that is going to be in alignment with that reality shift, with that timeline shift. Some of you might be sitting here wondering, okay, cool, I decided that I wanted to be rich. What the heck decisions do I make now that will lead me to become rich? Granted, I do want to say you are not going to know every step before you take it. There is no laid out golden brick road path that is just going to help you wind up into the new reality where everything is great and amazing. Hey guys, so I was editing this video and I just decided to take a moment to pause and give a little bit more details about how to start. If you've made the decision, but now you're just like, I decided I wanted to become rich, I decided I want to be financially free, now what? The thing now is that your brain is now open to more possibilities, whereas before it was definitely closed. So you might start seeing more videos about money and financial freedom. You might see more opportunities opening up, people just talking about it around you more, and just pay attention to those things because that means now you're open to it. You are now allowing that to come into your reality, which is great and amazing. The second biggest thing that I want to say is sometimes you're not going to go from A to B very quickly. Sometimes there are things that you have to learn along the way to get to the path that is going to be the best for you. So it may be that you get a promotion at a job, you learn a lot of new skills, you transfer those skills to a business idea. That business idea is something that you got to get off of the ground. But while you are doing that, you are learning even more new skills, and that creates the groundwork for you to have a great business. Something else could happen in the market where all of a sudden there's an influx of customers who need your service, right? There are so many ways that things can line up. But what I am saying is that at the end of the day, it is a journey. And once you've made that decision to say, hey, I want to change this in my life, or I want to enter into this new reality, pay attention to the things that are happening around you, pay attention to the opportunities, and respect the path, okay? Know that it's not necessarily linear, but every step you take now is going to help you get closer to your goal. All right, I'm gonna let the video play out now. So, the question, I guess, is not necessarily how bad you want it, but how committed are you to this process? I believe in you. Again, this is the soul era, the era of you, your truth, and living your life authentically. How do you want to live your life? What feels good for you? And can you commit to that enough to be able to bring that into your current reality? I know that I can. I love y'all. I hope that this helped you, and I'll see you next time.